Joy is your natural state. You may not agree, but I'll prove to you it's your natural state and share with you a process to get back to your joy-filled natural state of being. Even if you don't believe that joy is your natural state, don't you want it to be? Don't you want to feel more joyful? Come with me on a joy journey. I have cultivated a joy-filled spirit, but when I think back on my life, I definitely spent time wandering around in negativity. I was blessed to grow up in a household where you focused on what you were grateful for. But I remember dabbling in negativity in middle school and high school and the beginning of college. Towards the end of high school and going into college, I really started to recognize that I did not want to live the life those negative thoughts unfolded. I started to understand that my thoughts created my experience. By the time I graduated from college, I was firmly rooted in paying attention to my thoughts. I would notice my thoughts and ask, are these thoughts that I want to live? If they weren't, then I would work towards changing them, typically by applying spiritual truths to the situation or the belief. Brene Brown shared something interesting after conducting research on joyful people. She found that the number one thing people who were joyful had in common was they had boundaries. I had never thought of it this way, but that totally resonated with me. That was what I'd been doing. I had boundaries around the thoughts I would allow myself to think. I had boundaries around the time I spent filling myself up spiritually. The boundary was I spent time every single day filling myself up. I had boundaries around the shows I would watch. I had boundaries around who I would hang out with. I had boundaries around conversations I would have or even be around. I have boundaries around my routines of writing at least 5 things that I'm grateful for before I go to bed and praying before I go to bed. And in the morning, I wake up and I set an intention for having a blessed day. Intentional boundaries create the life that you want to live and bring joy. When I look at infants who've been cared for, I think, joy's their natural state. Babies are joyful. If something upsets a baby, you can comfort them and they make a silly face and they're laughing and have let go of the problem. They giggle and giggle so much that it makes everybody that sees them smile. Why is everybody smiling? Because babies laughing and smiling is pure joy. We connect and smile because we were once that joy as well. This joy is inside of us, and the pure joy of a laughing baby ignites what's already within us. As we grew up, life, family, world beliefs, and experiences drew us away from our natural joy. But it's still there. You can tap into your state of joy at any time. I help my clients remember their joy and create habits to move them towards living a joy-filled life. Okay, so how do you cultivate joy? I will share 3 tips to joy, then guide you through a joy journal to help you recognize what truly brings you joy, then amplify it. Number 1, start with noticing your feelings and your words. You can be so grateful to know that your thoughts control your feelings. You can notice your thoughts and change them. Once your thoughts change, then your feelings change, and you begin a positive cycle. Here's the big but. We're not just noticing our negative thoughts and flipping them to a positive one. We first need to hear what's the negative thought in our head. What does it have to say? Or the negative words that are coming out of our mouth. If we immediately push the negativity aside and just flip to a positive, then we could be ignoring some really good information that can guide us to get into alignment with the life that we want to experience. I have a video about what to do with the stories that come up and the justification of this negativity, because that's a whole different process. If you're listening and you're like, no, I believe this negative thought that keeps coming up, then you need to go watch the video about how changing your stories can change your life. The link to the video is in the description. So you're living your life and you notice these negative thoughts or words. You recognize there's no real attachment to what you've said. You're just reacting, you responded, and now you realize this is a limiting pattern. If your words and reactions are truly just patterns, then you can flip it because you can make a conscious choice not to say that anymore. You flip it to something that makes you feel good, because here's the big tip. If it feels good and peaceful and it's in alignment with your true desires, then that is when you're in touch with your inner wisdom. Your inner wisdom is what you want guiding your life, not your reactions to whatever's going on. You can't always control your surroundings, but you can change your thoughts and perceptions about what is going on around you. You don't like feeling hurt and negative, so you have the motivation to change. If you need help with any of this, there are links in the descriptions below for videos that can help you change your thought patterns. Tip number 2. Yes, all that was part of one. The next tips are shorter. Another thing you can do to cultivate joy is don't compare yourself to others. They say comparison is the thief of joy. Looking at others' lives and comparing them to yours puts you in a place of judgment. You might feel superior to them and prideful, or you might feel lacking and inferior. You don't want to emphasize any of those feelings. When you're focused on the blessings in your life, you'll find joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, then you might want to think about, why is it in your life? Or how are you choosing to look at the situation? Even if I can't remove something from my life, it's my choice how I perceive it. I want to be joyful, so I choose to see the blessings that can arise from every situation. Side note, it is such a free and blessed way to walk through life when you really look through the lens of life is always working for me. So I'm open to the blessings, even if it's in something that I perceive as negative. 3, the next thing you can do is pay attention to what triggers you and any limiting stories you repeat. As you become aware of your triggers and limiting stories, you can take the valuable information from them and change your relationship with your blocks. In the videos linked below, I walk you through how to do all this. I've just shared 3 simple steps, and I'll walk you through a joy process in a moment. Our 3 steps to joy: notice your feelings and words. Don't compare yourself to others. Pay attention to your triggers. These 3 simple things will help you rewire your thinking. After consistently integrating these 3 tips into your life, you'll be inspired to action to live the joy-filled life that you desire. You'll change from the inside out. One of the tools I have my clients use is called the Joy Journal. I'll take you through the Joy Journal in just a minute, but I want to explain it first. The Joy Journal is a tool to help you see your values and create a vision for yourself. It's good to use to amplify your joy, but it's also good when you're feeling lost or you feel like something's missing or you don't know what you want. This process was created by my amazing coach, teacher, and mentor, Alyssa Nobriga. I'll link the Joy Journal in the description below. But before we start looking outside ourselves for answers, we want to look inside for direction that fills our spirit and is aligned with our values. The Joy Journal helps us do this. We've all heard of a gratitude journal, which is different from a joy journal. The gratitude journal helps cultivate a mindset of being grateful. I've had a gratitude journal for 20 plus years. Looking for what I'm grateful for is just a part of my experience. I still write at least 5 things that I'm thankful for every night in my gratitude journal. I always notice what brings me true joy, and I try to feel into that as I'm writing down what I'm grateful for in my gratitude journal. The Joy Journal is different in that it helps you become more aware of what already lights you up and brings you joy. Then you can align your life and decisions with this joy. Here's the Joy Journal. Alyssa recommends that you put the Joy Journal by your bed, and every night for a week, you're going to list the top 3 things that brought you the most joy that day and how it made you feel. Let's focus again on the difference between joy and gratitude. I am grateful for my car, but driving today didn't bring me joy, but I love my car and I'm super grateful for it. So that would be something I would put on my gratitude journal. Something that did bring me joy today was I was able to really connect with a client who had been struggling, and we made wonderful progress. That brought me joy. After you identify something that brings you joy, you want to ask yourself, how did that make you feel? I felt a connection. I felt like he had an aha, which brought me so much joy. It brought me fulfillment. I felt like I was accomplishing my purpose. Another joy example is the other day after Pilates, I felt joy. I love Pilates. I go to Pilates 4 to 6 times a week, but Pilates doesn't always bring me joy. But that day it did. I walked out with a pep in my step. I felt strong. I felt like I accomplished something so good for my body and spirit. Your joys don't have to all be purposeful. I had a crumble cookie the other day. It was so good. Chocolate with cream cheese frosting. It was so good. I felt joy. What does that mean? It means I enjoy yumminess. I want yumminess in my life. You don't want to manipulate what you write down to make it all, I'm connecting with my purpose joys. Every true joy you have tells you something about what lights you up. Make it through the whole week without analyzing what you put down. Just write down what brought you true joy and how that made you feel. Then put it away until the next night. At the end of the week, you will review and reflect on what you wrote down. Themes will appear about what lights you up so you can start making decisions about your life and career based on these joys, these themes, these values. You'll notice patterns that will help you see what you truly value. Self-care, time spent with people you love, balance, spending time in nature. Then you can start to think about how these values can be brought into your daily life more. You can start making really conscious decisions about your life, your career, how you spend your day based on these joys and values. Here's the truth. The wisdom to guide you to a joy-filled, wonderful life is already inside of you. Sometimes we just need to collect it and notice the patterns. Anything is possible for you. You get to choose your thoughts. You can create a positive sense of good in your thinking. Decide you want joy, peace, love, health, calm, a positive attitude, and let it in. Set your intention. It's coming. Keep your thoughts so full of joy, gratitude, love, calm, health, freedom, positivity that there's no room for anything else. Watch with expectancy as whatever you want flows into your life. Love, health, freedom, joy, they're all your natural state. Allow them to reawaken and flourish in you. So much good can unfold today. That's exciting thought. Just release into the idea of delightful thoughts and experiences opening up for you today. Our attitude and our feelings truly create our reality. Start anew. Take a breath. What are you grateful for? Look for the good in this moment. Feel what brings you joy. Smile. Smile. Love yourself and others. Once you truly embody those feelings, then you can expect goodness to come your way. You're wonderfully made. You are made to feel loved, joy, and to be a blessing. You're love itself. Feel it. And when you can get into alignment with the love that you are and that surrounds you, you too will be able to say that joy is your natural state. Delight in this day you've never experienced before. Exciting blessings are on your path if you choose to expect them and rejoice in your joy. Another thing that robs us of our joy is our ego. Now, the ego is not the bad guy. The ego provides us with fabulous information. We just don't want to lead our lives from our ego, especially when you're trying to make a decision. We want to be in flow with our intuition. This next video helps you determine, are you being guided by your intuition or your ego? Let's get in alignment with our inner wisdom, our intuition. I'll see you in the intuition versus ego video.